Claude AI SEO runs on loop 24/7. What if you never had to write another SEO article again? What if the work you're already doing was quietly turning into content that ranks? Sounds too easy, right? Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm about to show you exactly how this works. This isn't a gimmick. This is a real system running right now on real websites. Hey, I'm the digital avatar of Zoe. I help people learn how to actually use AI tools in their work, not just talk about them. Today, I'm walking you through the Rank Loop engine, built on top of Agent OS. By the end of this video, you'll understand how a website can grow itself while you focus on the work you already do every day. Let's get into it. Here's the problem most people run into with SEO. You test something new, you learn something valuable, and it just sits in your notes. Meanwhile, you're also trying to find time to write SEO content on top of everything else. That's two jobs, and most people don't have time for two jobs. The Rank Loop engine flips that around. Instead of adding SEO as extra work, it turns your existing work into the content itself. You set it up once, and the engine runs the loop for you. Here's the actual 5-stage loop. Stage 1 is work, the stuff you're already doing anyway, like testing a tool or comparing two systems. Stage 2 is document. Agent OS captures what you did automatically, pulling from your notes and your AI agent activity, so nothing needs to be written down by hand. Stage 3 is ship. The content publishes straight to your website with no manual logging in. Stage 4 is index. The new page gets submitted so it's picked up by Google in hours instead of weeks. Stage 5 is listen. Google Search Console data gets pulled back in, showing which keywords are starting to get impressions. That data becomes tomorrow's content brief, and the loop starts again. This works because the content isn't generic. It's first-party information, built from real tests and real numbers. That kind of information gain is exactly what search engines are built to reward, because it's something nobody else can copy. Here's a quick example of this in action. Inside Agent OS, Claude gets used to help structure and write up the content that comes out of the documented work. It's not writing from nothing. It's taking real testing and case study data that's already been captured and turning it into a page that's ready to publish. That's the difference between generic AI content and content with something real behind it. One thing people ask a lot, what about a brand new site with no Search Console data yet? In the first week or so, you just create content from the work you're already doing. The keyword data builds naturally once Google has something to measure. Now compare that to the old way of doing SEO. Open a keyword tool, guess at what you might rank for, write the article from scratch or hand it to a team, then wait months to see if it gets picked up. If it doesn't rank, you pivot. If it does, you've probably already moved on. Then you repeat that every single week. The loop removes almost all of that. Search Console already shows you what people are searching for and where you're getting impressions with no clicks. The documentation happens as you work. Publishing is automated too. The only real cost is a one-time setup connecting your tools, closer to a half hour than a weekly task. This is also why the loop works across different industries. Whatever work you're already doing day to day becomes the raw material. The type of work changes with your niche, but the loop structure stays the same. If you're thinking about how this specific workflow would apply to your own website, that's exactly what gets mapped out in a one-to-one strategy session. Not a course, not a group call, just a session focused on your site, your keyword gaps, and how a loop like this could realistically be set up around the work you already do. I'll share where to find that later in the video. Let's look at how this plays out on real websites. One example is a benchmark-style site that documents ongoing testing of different AI models and agent tools. Every test becomes a dedicated page with the actual results. The system can also automatically build comparison pages. So when two tools are tested against each other, a side-by-side page goes up with the real results. That matters because people are actively searching for these comparisons, and a lot of that information doesn't exist anywhere else yet. A second example is a site built around guides for the systems and frameworks being used, where each one becomes its own page with real setup steps and case study numbers attached. Different content, same 5-stage loop underneath. A few common objections are worth addressing directly. AI-generated content doesn't rank. But this isn't content written from nothing, it's real testing structured with AI, which is treated very differently because there's actual information behind it. I still need proper keyword research first. Search Console is already doing that research for you, based on real data from your own site, so you're not guessing. This only works for tech or AI niches. The Loop doesn't care what industry you're in. Testing a model, running a client call, setting up a new process, reviewing a tool, whatever your version of the work is, the same structure sits on top of it. Members inside the AI Profit Boardroom community have set up their own versions of this Agent OS system, some on their first attempt, without a technical background going in. Paul, for example, had never used Agent OS before and started ranking on the first page of Google within 90 minutes of setting his system up. Others in the community, like Rick, have gotten their own version wired up in around 30 minutes. The structure is repeatable once it's wired up correctly, and you don't need to be technical to get there. One more piece worth mentioning is how the documentation gets stored. Everything you do with your AI agents gets logged automatically into a connected note system, so your agents build context on your business and your goals over time. That context is what makes the content specific to you instead of generic, and it's part of why the loop keeps getting stronger the longer it runs. So here's the whole picture. Your real work goes in on one side. It gets documented automatically, it ships to your site without manual publishing, it gets indexed quickly, and the keyword data that comes back becomes the brief for tomorrow's content. That's the loop, running continuously, with your actual work as the fuel. If you want the full process, I've put together a complete SEO course with over 260 lessons, walking you through everything from the fundamentals through advanced AI SEO workflows like this one, free. Links in the comments and description. If you want to go further, inside the AI Profit Boardroom, the full Agent OS system built around exactly what I've shown you here is available as a ready-to-install setup, along with a complete 30-day roadmap to get it running on your own site. You also get walkthroughs, live coaching calls, and daily support around this exact loop workflow. And if you're ready to apply this to your own site, that's what the one-to-one strategy session is for. As you set this loop up, you'll run into your own keyword gaps and your own version of what the work you already do looks like. A one-to-one session maps that out together, specific to your site, so you're not figuring it out alone. That's the full breakdown of how the loop works. Go set up one piece of it today. Find everything at AIProfitBoardroom.com.